Let's take a live look at Capitol Hill for you. A sunny morning in Washington, D.C. You've got senators returning from recess this afternoon, and a major item on their agenda is the budget bill that would enact several of President Trump's legislative priorities. But there are a handful of Senate Republicans who've expressed opposition to the bill. You got Senator Rand Paul from Kentucky saying on Face the Nation that the math doesn't add up on the cost of this legislation.
The president has essentially stopped the border flow without new money and without any new legislation. So I think they're asking for too much money. And in the end, the way you add it up to see if it actually is going to save money or add money is how much debt are they going to borrow? $5 trillion over 2 years. Enormous amount.
For more on this, let's bring in McCarthy. She's a Politico Congress reporter and co-author of the Inside Congress newsletter. Thanks for being with us, Mia. Good morning to you. What more can you tell us about these Republican holdouts and what specifically they're taking issue with?
Yeah, thanks for having me. The next 3 weeks are the Senate pushing through this, through Trump's one big bill. And we're already seeing a few defections. Rand Paul, as you mentioned, he's a big deficit hawk. He has, really pushed for having bills that don't increase the deficit and has been very consistent in voting against legislation that does. But for this, they're going to need, they can only lose a few Republicans. So they're going to need as many Republican support in the Senate as they can. Again, he's not as much of a surprise, but there are a few others that they're going to need to get on board. People like Mike Lee and Rick Scott, who have pushed for further spending, aren't outright no's right now. And then there's also plenty of moderates who are concerned about some of the Medicaid provisions.
Yeah, former Republican House Speaker Kevin McCarthy was on CBS News recently saying as much, that Rand Paul is less of a surprise, but watch those other Republicans. And I know that the rules of reconciliation could kind of help Senate Democrats force through some changes to the bill. How likely is that? What might some of those changes be?
Yeah, so in the Senate, they have what's called the Byrd Rule, which requires all of these provisions in a reconciliation package to affect the budget in some way. Now, there are a lot of different things that they try to make affect the budget so that they can get it through, but the Senate will be the real test for that. Things like Planned Parenthood, things like gun silencers are added to this that the Byrd issue may find non-compliant with the reconciliation rules. So that's something to keep an eye on. Senate Democrats are planning to go full speed ahead. Schumer outlined this in a letter last night saying that Democrats are going to try to poke at some of these issues to try to get as much as they can out of this bill.
And this is something I'm seeing cited widely. Senator Joni Ernst posted a response on social media to comments she made at a town hall last week about death. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so this past week, senators were back in their home states, and there was a town hall where Senator Joni Ernst from Iowa was asked about some of the Medicaid cuts and said people are going to die. She responded back saying that people are going to die, and then responded later with an apology video, noting that she didn't think she was saying anything new, that people were aware. She was kind of making a tongue-in-cheek to a protester at her event. But obviously, this is not a great statement to be having recorded, and something that Democrats are really going to capitalize using ads and using, for all Republicans as they go into this bill.
All right, Mia McCarthy with some of those congressional Senate headlines. Thanks for connecting with us this morning, joining us from Washington.